Good day, class. I'm going to go over the chi-square statistic, and I just want to make a new video because the old one wasn't that great. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over this the best that I can so that your homework is going to be a little easier to understand. The chi-square test is a statistical test, and it's a goodness of fit test, and we're going to be looking at observed values and expected values. And in our homework, we're going to have males and females and aggressive behavior and non-aggressive behavior after watching violent video games. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a null hypothesis. The null hypothesis means that there's going to be no difference between our observed values and our expected values. So those are going to be equal, just like all the other tests. So with our alternative hypothesis, we're going to say that the observed values are not equal to the expected values. Now our test statistic is going to look something like this. It's going to be the sum of all our observed values minus our expected values, and we're going to square that over the expected values. So that's what the actual statistic will look like. And in your book, you'll see this as well. So the first thing that we need to do is throw some data on the board. And like I said, we're going to have males. Let me cut this off here. Males and females. So they have just watched some aggressive type of video games, and now I want to see if they're going to have aggressive behavior following these. So my null hypothesis up here is saying that there's not going to be any difference between what I observe and what I expect to happen under these conditions. And my alternative hypothesis is saying that there is a difference. So I've got aggression and non-aggression. Now I observe, let's say I observe 47 males who show aggressive behavior following video play. And I observe, let's say, 14 females. Now the non-aggressive, I observe 21, and I observe, let's say, 41. So that's my data. That's my raw data that I have extracted from observing youth who have been watching violent video games. Now what I want to do is I want to find out what my expected values are. So I've got observed values, and now I'm going to have expected values. I observe this, I'm going to expect this to happen. Observation, expectation. So now I'm going to fill those expected values in. And in order to do that, I need to do some totals. So I'll get my trusty calculator, and I'm going to total up my columns. So 47 plus 14 is equal to 61. So I have 61 people that I observed who are aggressive. Now I'm going to total up my non-aggressive observations. So I've got 41 plus 21, and that gives me 62. So I'm going to add these rows up now, and I've got 47 aggressions and 21 non-aggressions. 47 plus 21 is equal to 68. And now I've got 41 plus 14 is going to equal, hang on, messed up. 41 plus 14 is equal to 55. Now, I'm going to total this up again and get a grand total. So I've got 68 and 55 is equal to 123. Now I'm going to add these up, and hopefully I have a match. 61 plus 62 equals 123. So this is my grand total here. Now what I have to do is try to find what these expected values are. And in order to do that, I need to take a percentage. What is the percentage of this row compared to my total? So I have 68. So in order to find the percentage, I will take 68 divided by 123, and I get 55%. So now I have 55%. This number is 55% of the total. So I can say that this is 55%. Now I can come over here and do the same thing. 55 divided by 123 is 45%. So I've got my percentages here. So now I can take this particular number here, 61, and find out what the value is of 55% of this particular row here. So in order for me to do that, I'll take 61 times 0.55 gives me 33.55. That's the expected value. Now I can do the same thing for this particular one here, because I take 62 and I'll multiply my percentage of that particular row, which is 62 multiplied by 0.55 gives me 34. And that's an expected value, 34.1. I'll do the same thing here. We move that up here instead of down here. So to get the expected value of this, I'll take 61 and multiply it by my percentage of this particular row here. So I'll take 61, multiply it by 0.45, and I'll get a value of 27.45. Same thing here. I'll take 62, multiply it by the percentage of 45%. So I'll take 62 and multiply that by 0.45, and I get 27.9. So those are my expected values. Now I've got my observed and my expected for each particular condition. Now what I need to do is find out what my degrees of freedom are. And so I'm going to get a distribution that is positively skewed with a mean of 0, and then I have to find out what my rows are, minus 1, times my columns, minus 1.